So we found out during Power Tour that this windshield leaks terribly, especially on the passenger side. Water just rains down here on the passenger and gets the passenger all wet. It drips in on the driver's side. So I've started taking this apart yesterday and didn't think it'd be that interesting to film. It probably still isn't interesting, but it is interesting enough on how to get the trim off, and so I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a video before I head out on the road again. Here's the car. Everyone's seen the car. So this is a 1976 Plymouth Gran Fury station wagon. This is my crappy attempt at fixing the tailgate. The tailgate had been run into by a skid loader from the previous owner, and or it could have been the owner before the owner I had it with. So I didn't quite rescue this from a junkyard, but it was pretty close to it. So I have a few things to fix before I go on Power Tour in June. It's December now. We're getting ready for a big snowstorm here in Colorado. And so I'm working on this. As you can see, I've got this piece of trim off here. And I was working on that piece. And then I kind of got stuck last night. And so I quit for the day, and now I'm back out here. Well, it's still warm. It's about 60 in the garage here, so it's not bad. You see, this is most likely the original windshield. It's just held in there by a little bit of silicone, I think, but there's nothing in here, and I can put my finger behind the glass in many places, and I can see where it probably was leaking through. So my plan, which is probably not the right plan, is to get all the trim off, clean up underneath here as best I can around the glass, and you can see the old caulking is just all dry and brittle. You can probably break it. Yeah, it's no longer doing caulking things. So clean this up as best I can, and I'm going to pack this with a weatherproof sealant, probably something from Gorilla Glue, or maybe what's that one on TV all the time, the Flex Seal, which hopefully that will keep this waterproof while not gluing in the trim. So I'll leave the trim off for a number of days, probably an entire week, until I have time to come in here and work on this again, and then put the trim back on. I do have some clips on order. I don't know if they're going to be close enough to original to work, but it was like $7 for a whole kit. So got 2 kits, just because I like having leftover parts. But my plan is to record taking the other side off and walking through putting this back together. Everything I had was on overnight delivery from Amazon, and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and I have not received my order yet. So I'm a little annoyed. It's probably going to be an overnight order that shows up at 10 p.m. So depending on how cold it gets tomorrow, we're supposed to get about 1 inch of snow, which is not that much. I might be out here putting the sealant in here. So I want to at least get the chrome off, or the trim, so I'm ready for tomorrow. I don't know if I should bother taking off the bottom trim or not. It seems like it comes off with a number of screws, so it shouldn't be that difficult. I don't know if there's anything on the bottom I need to weather seal. This seems to be doing it enough. I don't know if anything's getting in there. I guess the correct way, which I'm not going to do, would be actually to take the entire windshield out. But there's no cracks or dings in the windshield, so I don't know why I would risk cracking the windshield. I also kind of toyed with calling a glass company and asking if they would just reseal the window for me, but I think I can do this myself. It seems pretty trivial. And hey, if it's not perfect, I get to do it again. It only needs to be perfect for about 2 weeks a year. So that's what I'm going to tackle today. All right. So, very first screw to take out is this one right here. Once that screws out, this whole thing slides down a little bit to allow you to take this little corner piece off, which is not physically attached to anything. This slides up into here, and that slides up into here. But once this is down, you can pull it out, and then that comes off fairly easy. And then you have these really annoying, tricky trim hooks to pop out. And that took me quite a bit of time yesterday to figure that out. But once I got the first one off, the other ones quickly snapped, so they came off pretty easy. I expect this side to do the same. Now this little Phillips head screw stripped on me on the other side, so we'll see if I can get this side off without it stripping. I don't really have a complete collection of tools. You would think I would, but I tried a number of different screwdrivers to try to get it so it wouldn't strip, and I was unsuccessful, so I ended up having to take it off with vice grips, which was really hard the way it's kind of recessed into the piece of chrome there. So we'll give that a try. Okay, that came out very easy. The other side, like I said, I stripped out the head of the bolt this time, or the head of the screw. This time it just came right out. So I should be able to just slide this down. See if I can do it one-handed. I'll use my good arm. So this, on the other side, maybe I have to pry it up a little bit. Yeah, just slid down a little bit. I think I'm going to need to use both hands on this, so I was hoping to show it slide down. Oh, there it goes. So I just slid down a little bit, so it came out of this thing here, and then this thing will, I've loosened this up, so this will kind of pop out of there. It should. This is really hard to work with one hand. So basically you just wiggle this out until, and of course all my little plastic pry bars over there, wiggle it out. That's a little better. There we go. I'm trying to be careful on this old girl. This is kind of interesting the way that this is welded up. No wonder anything leaks. So not really sure what's going on with that, then this here, there's a clip right here where these two meet, which is really nice because this one's kind of shows you how these go together. I doubt you can see it from here. I don't know if I can turn on this little light thing here. I don't know if that helps. Can't tell. Turn it off. But this is one of those little I don't know, H clips that you have to kind of push down the middle while pulling it up, and then it'll come out. I may continue taking it off from that side, but I'll play with this side. I definitely need two hands for that. This whole thing here is on with 3 clips, and basically I don't have a tool specifically for this. I'm using like a painting spatula to get in there, locate where the hooks are, the clips are, and then I use a flat tip screwdriver to reach in there and try to release release or break the hooks, and then this whole thing will come off. I only plan on sealing the top and the sides so we get less wet in here. Oh, this is we were shoving napkins up in there to try to keep the rain out, so it was obviously leaking from right in here, because this is where I just threw ripped out that big napkin. So once this is off, well, I can actually do that now. You can see this caulking just comes right out with your fingers. It's just really brittle. It's almost 50 years old. So, yeah. Well, I'll continue this with two hands, so I'll put you. Alright. So, I've cleaned this out a decent amount. I won't make you watch the whole thing, I'll put it on a time lapse. So, it was pretty dry and brittle until I get to the middle. I think someone probably had this off a little bit, and because that there was pretty pliable. I've scraped out as much as I dared to do. I'm afraid of nicking up the glass, but I think I'm going to let this dry while I'm waiting for the glue or the silicone or whatever the hell I ordered, and the new trim clips to show up today. I'll definitely clean up a little bit. There's a few other minor things I don't mind attacking while I'm waiting for this. And it's still nice and warm in the garage, so take advantage of it. Okay, kind of have you on a mount. This is what I'm using, a little painter's scraper tool thing. Quite a putty knife. Oh, this isn't even really on there on this side. So I'm trying to be careful with the glass. So it came off that first hook really easy. There's another one right here. Go. Did I hit you? So where's the other one? It's right in here, I think. Maybe right in here. Maybe there's two. Something's right here. Maybe a slider. Maybe. There you go. Might take a minute to clean up the chrome while I have it off, but I don't know if you can see it. But here's one of those clips, or half of one of those clips. This one I don't think was reusable. But if I go in here and clean up this old caulking, it's more dust than caulking. It's coming up pretty easy. I think what I can do is here's one of the clips that are almost intact, but I don't think it was truly holding in much. Probably 80% of the water. I just wanted to take and keep the other out, and wanted to be able to not have to buy a windshield. I'm afraid if I tried to take this windshield completely out, I would screw it up perfectly. So there's a little nub here where one of these little fins fit. Complete one, I was using it to try to replace this. This is not a complete bundle. So this is what they look like. Focus this in, and one piece. This is the one up and down the side. I still have to take the side off over there, but it clips in to a little groove on the car, and then this here snaps into the actual trim piece. This is for that very wide trim piece on the side. And this one broke in half before. Now I'm dropping things on the ground. This one's a little trickier to get off, because these clips are a little bit more substantial. But I just scoop this back here. Got one of them's right here. I might be able to get this tool. I think I did. Either that or I snapped it. sticking in here and shaking around, hoping it does something. It sounds like it's snapping and stuff, so I guess that's good. This should come out. Okay, I think that one's loose. The middle one's, I think, out. And there should be one down here somewhere. Okay, now this one snaps back in. Now that it's out a little bit, what I was doing before is I was putting a little flathead screwdriver in there, which I think I left on the other side of the car. Inside. So since it's up like this, I can actually look in and see that that's the tab I need to push. If I can see it, there we go. I think that's it right there. Felt it. Felt it going in there. So I really want to avoid pushing on the glass like that, because as I found over there, this glass kind of just disintegrates. Just patient, which I'm not always patient, just trying to work it. These other ways, the tab's up against this thing here, so you can kind of snap it from there too. There we go. There we go. Two's out. Actually, I think I got this one out without, well, I won't say it yet. Yeah. Alright, well, I should have said it. So, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Where'd that go? Okay, I'm not finding that again. Not sure where it went. Okay. So, what I was trying to do is there's this little tab here. If you push that in, these are so old and rusty that you can kind of slide it out that way. That's what it's actually able to do that on that side. Now this one's broken too. Actually, all 3 of them are broken. So that's no good. Yeah, these are no good. Watch how easy this one. Yeah, it just kind of breaks off. So that's what I was trying to avoid doing. Rest of it off there. See, there's a little thing here that a little tab they push in, and then this whole thing comes right out. Just like that. Let's see if this one's a little better. Good thing I moved my truck. Get the last one out. So if I have to, I can kind of, I don't want to, but I could use the glue I'm putting in here to, oh, there's nothing over here at all. So what I was trying to say before I distracted myself is I could silicone in the trim pieces, and that would just make it much more painful for me when I replace this windshield. Other than it's a perfectly good windshield, the main reason I don't want to replace it is it's the original factory one, and it's got the god-awful ugly green tint up here. that I actually want to keep. So it reminds me of my wagon I had in high school. So I'm sure if you've seen other videos, I had a Gran Fury Plymouth station wagon when I was in high school. That was back in the mid-'80s, I think. Yeah. And I'll check the windshield just a tad right there. So this is almost off. It's just hard to get a purchase on this one for some reason. It should just pop right off like the other two did. Alright, I'll go get a pair of pliers. Which, is that right? You know, when I hit my mid-50s, I decided that I wanted to play with cars again. Start off playing with cars in high school, and then joining the military, I kind of got away from it, and then I had family and wife wasn't interested in junk, so I kind of got back into it after I was in my mid-50s, and now I'm almost out of my 50s, and I have the 2 cars that I had in high school, actually 3 cars. So these are the 2 cars that are roadworthy-ish. I suppose I should clean this up now a little bit. Alright, where's that? So this was the one that actually, well, didn't want to do that, but I did. So hopefully that's not going to cause a crack. A little more aggressive than I should have been just then. I want to have enough room to put that other silicone in. So yeah, my mother had a station wagon, and when I got my license in, I'm going to say 83, 84 time frame, that was my car throughout high school. And then during high school, I built a car from the junkyard. And I ended up getting a Dodge Dart, a Plymouth Scamp, and a whole bunch of other parts off another Dodge Dart. And I put the Scamp together. And I raised hell in that for a couple years before I joined the military. And then my brother stole it, and he enjoyed the hell out of it. Yeah, those are the 2 main cars I had at high school. I also was building a hot rod out of a 47 Willys Overland Jeepster, but I never finished that. And when I got out of the military and started the family, I just didn't have the time, really, money, the resources to work on that. So that ended up being sold. The Scamp ended up getting crushed after my brother was done with it. And it definitely did not deserve that. These days, it would be a very worthy car for a restore. But, all right, well, I'm not going to bore you anymore, but I did buy the another 47 Willys Jeepster about 2 summers ago, and it's sitting in my backyard. I haven't done anything with it since I brought it home. Continue working on this. Mainly, I just want to clean it up and see how far I can get today on it, and hopefully the parts show up so I can start putting it back together. Alright. So, I've cleaned this out a decent amount. I won't make you watch the whole thing, I'll put it on a time lapse. So, it was pretty dry and brittle until I get to the middle. I think someone probably had this off a little bit, and because that there was pretty pliable. I've scraped out as much as I dared to do. I'm afraid of nicking up the glass, but I think I'm going to let this dry while I'm waiting for the glue or the silicone or whatever the hell I ordered, and the new trim clips to show up today. I'll definitely clean up a little bit. There's a few other minor things I don't mind attacking while I'm waiting for this. And it's still nice and warm in the garage, so take advantage of it. Alright, I'm not really hearing that exhaust leak anymore. It is a little tick that you can hear in there. I'm not convinced this is exhaust leak. And this thing smells like gas. So I gotta check to see, is this thing tuned correctly or not? My auto bulb, it looks like that's got 2 bulbs, that's got 1 bulb. Alright, I gotta check that too. Oh, only have 1 license plate bulb. A lot of minor things. The fact that this burnt a lot of gas my last road trip. See how I'm no longer saying power torque. But I gotta see about tuning this thing up. I don't know how bad it is. But with the hood open, I'm not convinced that's not the AC compressor or something. Well, let's put the thermometer thingy on it and see what I can determine, if anything. Okay, let's see if we can see what's going on here. Alright, 1 cylinder, another cylinder, 3 cylinders, and the score cone's kind of behind the brake booster here, so it's nice and hot too. All 4 of those seem to be firing. Let's look on the other side. Okay. Let's see. Back one. Nice and even. So I think it's firing on all 8. I don't think I have a problem with spark plugs. You'd normally see this, at least I'm assuming, I don't know why it's going yellow or red, but you would assume that if one of them wasn't firing, it would be different temperature. But it's all looking pretty good. Anything, so nothing's heating up in my auxiliary, accessories. Doesn't seem like it anywhere. How's my radiator doing? Definitely cooler than the engine, which is a good thing. I was a little concerned with overheating. This was constantly running at 220, which I think that's basically how these old things ran. There's my radiator. So my radiator is, so the top red is 190. So it seems to be pumping every so often. There we go. That's weird. Here's the radiator hose. Alternators underneath. The alternator looks a little hot. No, that's just the engine. Alternator is right there. No, that's the engine poking around again. So, running about 120 at the radiator. I'm assuming that the thermostat's open. That's another thing, is I could replace the thermostat. These are a pain in the ass to get to. It's underneath there. So I have to pull the whole AC unit to really get down in there. Maybe not. I might be able to get in there, but it doesn't look like a fun job. Overall, the things that should be hot are hot. That's good. It might still have a bit of exhaust leak. It definitely seems like something's going on over here. I think I'd see an exhaust leak with this tool, and I suspect if I have one, it's here. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know. I'm going to leave it as is. Since my parts aren't coming in until Monday, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thanks for joining. Hopefully I will have some footage from the car sections of CES in about 2 weeks. All right, thanks.